Yeah, see if I hit the record button, then it's recording.
Hi. Wait, can I record? No, let me try. Don't record. Don't you put your eyes in
Don't
it?
record me, I hate being on camera. Okay, let's zoom all the way out. Yeah, record each other.
My turn. So today I scored a really very goal. It was a volley. My name is Rahima, and this is my life story. So when I was a little girl, I always wanted to cheer. So I started cheering when I was 5 years old, and here I come as a cheerleader. Woo! Go USCG!
Go UNCG! Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Community is such an important part of sport. Without it, I don't think I'd have had half the opportunities that I have been afforded as a South African filmmaker and college athlete in the US. It's the reason I've gotten to meet and share the stories of these amazing kids, a lot of which are pretty similar to my own. I started out at a club too, and in the majority of those teams that I played on, I was the only black person. So I know what it's like to be different from the people around you and not always be able to completely relate.
The NC Fusion Foundation is an organization that addresses those players in need. For us, we want every player who wants to play a sport has the ability to play the sport, whether that's through tutoring even, or financial aid, or just bringing them into the community and getting them on teams, or working with them just for their growth skills. It's important to us that we're involved in that also. So our foundation is our outreach arm that handles that.
What we do is we actually go into the community and create community programs so that kids don't have to leave their area to participate in a sport.
Cross it out where you just showed me, and then what's the next step? Cross it out here. You know what you're doing. Give me some, boy. Now go find another one.
Can I help you with the margarita?
Go in the bathroom, wash your hands. Go ahead. Bye-bye. How many more plates you need?
One.
One, yep, and put two.
So that soccer and studies program really evolved from just a need for the kids to have something after school to do. And so essentially those kids in that program come to the church 2 days a week where they have to do some sort of academic enrichment or their homework. Then they get to play soccer, then they have dinner. It goes beyond just soccer to the stretching the limits of our mission. So we wanted somebody in there that could actually help create activities for the kids to fill in when they didn't have a lot of academic work, could, do some team building stuff.
Let's go around the room. Kenny, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Marquita is probably the person that has, the most experience just with regards to positive youth development. And, so her role wasn't necessarily just to come in and oversee, but was to also add levels of programming that would help, guide these kids along that pathway to developing the life skills that they needed. Her title is site director, and her role is almost like a jack of all trades, where she helps to pick up the kids, she helps to make sure that the volunteers are organized, and then, helping to oversee meals being made, or when the meals are delivered, getting the kids, setting tables and doing all that stuff, and then she's driving them home.
Okay, cut.
As a kid, I was most well known for two things, namely always having a camera in my hand and playing sport. I played pretty much everything that I could: soccer, hockey, cross country, tennis, water polo, track, the list goes on and on and on. But the one that really stuck with me and was my favorite was field hockey. Hockey is quite a big sport in South Africa, and so there's a pretty big community of players, of coaches, of supporters. but I had one mentor in particular who really helped me get to where I am today. Her name is Emma Bray. She was my coach for a couple years. She sponsored me in a lot of different ways. She really just pushed me to become not only the best player, but the best person that I could be. She helped me go from a girl who loved playing field hockey to someone who could use the sport that they loved so much as a tool to achieve their goals in life. And I really see Marquita as someone who does that for these kids.
My dreams after high school was to get a job at Walmart. That's how far I thought. I wanted to get a job at Walmart and move out my parents' house. Like, that was it. That was life. The reason why I wanted to be at Walmart, because Walmart had benefits. McDonald's wasn't where it was at. Like, it was a step ahead of McDonald's, but it had benefits. You was making at least $10 an hour, so that was $3 more than minimum wage. But it was like, once I got to college, the thing that I wanted to be a community hero. Like, I wanted to be that person in the community that was like the cheerleader, like, this is what I want to do.
The thing about Marquita is, she came through that project effort program that the kids attend on Friday. So when she was, I think, I don't know if it was late elementary or middle school, she was recommended to start going to project effort. I just bringing somebody in who has that depth of knowledge and who has shared experiences of some of our kids and, who is a success story. I mean, I used to joke with her. I'm like, Quita, like you're our poster child, right? Like we need a little picture of baby Quita and a little picture of like you now and say like, this is what you can do. And so she's she's an amazing person. She's had an amazing journey.
Yeah. So you graduated UNC Wilmington, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why I went for undergrad. That was pretty cool. I hated it.
Why?
It was a culture shock. I'm a first generation college student, so I didn't really know what to expect. But once I got there, it was only 3% black and then 4% other. But I wanted that. I didn't want to go to a HBCU.
Why not?
Because I knew the world wasn't all black and I needed to learn a different culture. I mean, I grew up on the south side of Greensboro, so it's just certain things that you don't learn that can translate into the bigger world. So that's just what we try to teach the kids. Because most of these kids, because some of our American kids have dropped out of the program. That's just a technical way to put it. So these are immigrant and refugee families.
Made it! Hello, San Francisco!
Finally, 27 hours later.
I still remember the first time I landed in America. It was 3:20 p.m. at San Francisco Airport. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was really excited to be in the US, of course, to be pursuing my dream career and playing my favorite sport. But at the same time, I was pretty nervous about how I would fit in and relate to people around me, especially being from a foreign country and, again, being the only person of color in the team. Was I just going to be perceived as the black girl from Africa? That's something that I thought about quite a lot.
No, they're teaching in
Sudan, which is probably up here.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see it, but it's like all the way up here. And I got this on my birthday, and my birthday's on Christmas.
Let's go inside, I'm bored.
I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm 16. And I love biology, and I want to be a dental hygienist when I grow up. So yeah.
Ka-ching. My name is Everine. Well, everyone says it wrong, so you can call me Evan too. I'm from Tanzania, but my family is Congolese. I love learning about different cultures, languages, and the religions. So I'm thinking about becoming an anthropologist, but I gotta keep the African tradition and become a doctor.
The club does a fantastic job, I think, of trying to have diversity across their groups. But the problem is you can take a kid and financially support them to play on a team, but there's just a lot of other things that come into play. So, how does that child have transportation? Is that child a refugee where there may be, just learning with language and just a comfort level of, now you were surrounded by friends in your community, and now you're on this team with so many different people that maybe have a different background from you or see you differently because of the fact you are a refugee or something.
What were you saying about growing up African?
The hardest thing you can do is survive growing up African in America, bro.
Why?
A lot of people don't understand my culture, so that they just question everything. Like, fitting into the American community is kind of hard, like, just being considered black. Because black people don't consider you as a black African American, and you're not really. And the African community, when they come here, they don't even treat you like you're African no more. So you just gotta grow up and make your own little community.
Can you tell me your name again, please?
Jacqueline Everine Sikujakashini Manunga.
Oh my God.
When I started making this film, I wanted to build a connection with these kids, learn their names, their stories, their goals, and really show how this program has created a community for them.
And the virus now in all 50 states. There are now more than 6,400 cases in the U.S.
Today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
This is moving very fast.
The reality of prolonged school shutdowns as a precautionary measure could be crippling.
I really looked forward to seeing them every week, to trying to remember the different handshakes that I had with different kids, to talking about the similarities between our countries and our favorite African music, and I couldn't do that anymore. Neither could anyone in the program.
We've kind of been spinning our wheels in some ways with our soccer and studies program. Right now, that program is actually on hold in its basic form. We started out where we were going to try and do the program during the day, and so that way we could help the kids get online and bring in tutors. The issue is honestly there's a bandwidth, so we were trying to figure out, would we have enough bandwidth at the church? And so the church helped with a fundraiser, and we've been trying to help our families, upgrade their internet so that they can actually do stuff at home. We just have been touching base weekly because we're providing food to a lot of the families through the free lunches. But the actual soccer and studies program will probably not go back into play the way it was until the spring.
Fusion! Claremont, let's get ready to roll. Pack up, get your homework, get your book bag. Y'all got 2 minutes.
Everything over all of our programs, when you think back about sports and anybody who played sports growing up, it's more than just a game. It's a way for these kids to build friendships. You can't break that bond of team. So by getting kids involved in that, it really gives them some roots. That's why we work with the refugee community also, to kind of get them integrated into the community through sports. They build those friendships, relationships that last forever.
Is this actually gonna go to news?
Why,
Okay,
you want to be famous?
Yes.
Okay, let me.
This whole pandemic has really emphasized the importance of community, of having people around you who are there for you through the good and the bad. And if we look at the impact that it's had on schooling and on some of the lives of the kids of the program, we really see how essential organizations like NC Fusion and people like Marquita are.
Here, you draw your person's head and then I'll help you.
I know for a fact that I would not be here living out my dreams had it not been for Emma, for my club, for my community and people around me. They accepted me and supported me in everything that I did, not just in sport. I think it's a lot bigger than that. I really see myself in some of these kids. and I think that Marquita is their Emma. I'm excited to see them grow up and live out their own dreams.
Got questions for me?
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. Like, what kind of business would you like to have?
Photography.
Ooh, love that. I'm all for that. Okay, you guys gonna show?
The whole idea of sports is not just getting out there and staying active, which is incredibly important, but there's the whole psychological side of it also that just helps to build really good people in the world.
Oh, you got something for me?
It's my turn. No, I should deserve the spotlight. I'm the best.
There's time and space for everyone, just by the way.